Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today we're going to talk about a new poem. Again, it's one of the classical and compared with the earlier poems, this one is each verse is made of 7 characters. So it's a little bit more elaborated and the scenery it described just by words, right? We live in a three-dimensional world, actually a four-dimensional world if we add time factor. That poetry as a language is an abstract thing. And Chinese poems made of these Chinese characters, we basically are little pictures. Each one shows like a frame of something and link them all together to create imagery in your mind. And because they're famous, passed down through generations, at least like edited by, where I grew up is the China, the communist China, which authority got to approve these poems to pass down to us, right? So at least these are the good ones, even past the pretty tight examining of the authority there. Okay, 日照香炉生紫烟 talks about the sun shining over aromatic stove. Here, aromatic stove doesn't mean the literal stove. Even if you have been to Asian temple, very likely there are incense burning in this giant metal stoves. That's commonly the thing. And that's how I grew up learning this poem. I thought it's some sort of incense place in a temple. But no, this actually means 香炉, location of location name of a mountain range in probably Guangxi. So it's kind of a southwest of China where it's more mountainous. And because it's kind of humid. So over there, the scenery is, I guess, it's a fascinating generations of poets who try to capture the sense of a magical mountain, shrouded in fogs and all that. Okay, so Xianglu is one such mountain name. Okay, 生紫烟 means from that mountain you see this shimmering of purplish smoke rise above it. So grow as if it's growing from the mountain, right? And when the sun shines on such mountain, especially in the early morning, then you're going to see such phenomenon. And 遥看瀑布挂前川. So you see from afar, gives you the location of the view. Then 瀑布 is a Chinese two character forming one concept. In Chinese, in English, is waterfall. Actually, it is two English word, then coined, sealed together to make one word, right? It's a water plus fall. Chinese will have 瀑布. Pu means rapidly flowing water. Bu means fabric, as if it's a fabric draping down, as if it's a kind of a continuous body of water, of a cohesive piece, like a fabric draping, rapidly flowing fabric. Basically, that's Chinese waterfall. 挂前川, honey in front of a river. So, yeah, waterfalls are the end of a cliff, right? Where water, the Chuan River, flying on a vertical surface, and when it meets a cliff that's flying vertical, that's how the positioning of that. The waterfall always hangs in front of a river. So it gives you a picture, geographic sense, and even give you an angle. So I should have put it, well, I did, try to put it in a generative imagery to see what it can show. I will show you next day, but today it's something else that I feel could be culturally explainable or relatable to this imagery. Okay, so let's one by one unpack. 日 energetic ball or sphere. Eventually it becomes boxy, but originally from nature, it's spherical, right? We on a 2D dimension can only draw a circle to represent a sphere. And then horizontal line means energy. According to science, it's fusion energy. Burning, the sun burning is a fusion process. That we already have it. 照, so we have the sun again, and then we have the fire underneath it. So together we have fire and sun. Both are energy source that's through burning give out light. This is the light source, two types of light sources, right? The right side means calling you attention. We have the mouth symbol, which is the sound source. Somebody is speaking, right? And then we have a knife symbol. So this is Chinese knife. Two sides, two edges. And supposedly the bottom is a sharp side. You can cut. And calling as if it's cutting. That's a Chinese way to say, I'm drawing your attention. It's addressing to you. So when you have fire drawing your attention, that means you have light source, either the sun or the fire, that shine, calling your attention on the object. That's what shine basically mean, right? We have the light source and we have the action to it, which is to draw attention of observers because we have such a light source, and then we can see things. So that a little bit of a physics explained of what shining actually this action is doing. Okay, 香, we have the crop symbol on the top, which is canopy of the tree, root of the tree connected by the trunk, and then the top is tipping down, means it's crop, it's ripening. So gravity is pulling down the top of the canopy. And then two horizontal lines plus this big arch thing, that's our rain symbol. This kind of a droplets in the air, 4 of them. Don't take it as 4. It means multitudes. It means full of it, permeated in our space. And this big arch thing, you can view it space anywhere under the sky. And then we have this rain crop together is a Chinese commonly common food, which is millet. I'm not sure if Americans or English-speaking countries have millet in their diet. But when I grew up, I had a ton of millet. So we are rice eaters. Yes, that's well known. But millets, this yellow, tiny, teeny ball thing, type of protein source, is also part of the cuisine. So that describes that type of food. And then we have mouth symbol, you see the same, right? And horizontal line. In the sun is energy. In the mouth, it means something kind of sugary candy like that people enjoy it so much. Instead of swallow it, we hold it in the mouth longer for not for just nutrition purpose, right? It becomes a taste thing. So if we enjoy something so much, we're going to put it in the mouth. So that's the, by behavior of that treatment of the food, we deduce that means it tastes good. So this millet on the top tastes good. Together create aromatic because before you taste something, before you put something in your mouth, it has to smell good to you, right? And we have that type of particular food source. When it ripes, it really smells good. So Chinese appreciation of food, 色香味. So really depends on the look, the taste. Taste is the last thing, but 香 is the second thing. So first you see it, a visual check. It looks good, and then you olfactory, you have to smell if it smells good, and then taste is the way inside you it tastes good. So that's a Chinese appreciation of food. So 香 is the second step. Okay, and 炉 have this mineral or metal symbol on the left, and then we have this cooking or stove by itself is already stove, and later on people add this metal thing because probably ancient times stoves could be made of like clay because that's more accessible right? And then eventually when people's life get upgraded, we get more permanent type of cookware that's made of metal. So later on, as material change, the symbol of metal added on. And metal is made of this triangle thing, means gathering. And then we have two horizontal lines. The first horizontal line is the ground level. And then you have something stick into the ground, right? And then you have two symbols. That's kind of the hand holding. So you're kind of hand holding something. That's one explanation, that you'll probably try to get hold of something underground. Second explanation is that this is something underground, that the two strokes on the side, instead of symbolizing your holding hand posture, which happens a lot in another symbol, like this, this actually means hand holding a glass. Here, it could mean specks of some nuggets of the metal underground. And then we have the third horizontal line, means all the way, all surrounding it. So it symbolizes something buried underground. And there is a concentration of this gathering of things. That's how Chinese describe mineral. And from mineral, we get metal. The right side is a tiger sign in the top. So this is the powerful tiger's jaw, and the tail, the the tiger's gait, almost described in here, even if it's abstract. Okay, and then we have the farm field with a tip in the middle on the top, means things coming from the farm field. That's our source. You can regard it as food source because it's farm field there. Farm field because it's a box quartered. In Chinese, we mean it's a family household unit lot of the land. Because as the agrarian society, every household, to make a living out of the land, everybody have a small piece of lot. Okay, the bottom, glass holding. So the glass holding not necessarily mean just for drinking. Eventually, it means any kind of footwear that you can use to hold food. So we have a food, we have tiger, we have food source. All together create the imagery of stove. My story or imagination of that is stove is a container for food, right? Actually, for cooking, processing of food. And then the food comes from the farm field. That's the source. And then the tiger is like after you eat food from nature, from farm field, actually, not in nature, from the farm field, you as humans are going to consume that, get up, energized, and we behave as if we're tiger. We have that prowess, have that muscle power from the food energy convert to muscle energy. And the converter is this glass look-like food container, which in this context is this processing, food processor, okay, which in ancient times would be stove. Okay, so two horizontal lines, you see that the same here. Ground, and then this trident-looking thing is a plant growing from that ground, right? And then the second horizontal line means the root is still deeply rooted. Well, it doesn't show proportionally how deep that is, at least the same height as above the ground, right? It's kind of equally split on the ground level. So that means it's still rooted, surrounded by the supporting environment for that plant. And altogether, it means life, being alive. So 生 means life, living, alive, being alive, and it also means grow, like a continually expanding life. One character, depends on how you use it, can mean a million things in Chinese. Okay, so I have a whole month dedicated to this character. If you're interested to check out, I have a playlist for that. Okay, so the purple. We have on the bottom, it's almost like the opposite of this plant symbol, right? Trident, upward pointing. Now, trident, downward pointing, is a fabric. And then we have two spools of thread connected. So this whole image means something textile, something drapey. And then we have the foot symbol on the top left. And then we have the knife symbol reversed. Or you can regarded not as knife symbol because knife symbol looks like this, right? And it has a little bit of tilt on the top, which is the knife's handle. On here, you don't see the handle there. And my theory is it could be the human figure, which is this look, and flipped on the other side. And my understanding of Chinese is Chinese actually have a different sense of direction. In the current default English-speaking world, the default direction of forward going is facing right. You always draw the coordinate system, the 0 in the center, right? And then you have this positive numbers on the right, toward the right, right? That's the direction you go. That's in our concept already embedded. That's numbers going bigger toward the right. Now, Chinese, the other direction. Chinese make human figure. This is the back. This is the front of human. We're facing leftward, and that's regarded as forward facing. So now this is a flip human figure, means backward facing. And we have the foot symbol made of the big toe, pinky toe, the rest of the toes. So it's kind of a cactus looking thing, abstraction of 3-toe human foot. When we have the foot by itself, it means stop. It's not moving because we will add 3 strokes on top of it, showing you visually moving through space as walking. Now, without that, that means negative of walking. It's stopping, and then you swivel over like turning toward the backward. That means you stop. So you stop, both symbols means you stop, right? You're not moving forward. You're kind of backward. You want to retract almost. Now that combined with the tactile image means, okay, on the top of this stop thing, together means you arrived. This is the destination. And that's Chinese this. In English, we have this, that, right? So this means we're referring to the thing you stop at. Okay, this fabric together means purple. Or stopped by that fabric. I have a theory, okay. Ancient times is a hierarchical society. Till today, it's hierarchical. One ruler, we all know who, and then the whole apparatus holding that ruler in place and the whole population under the rule in place, right? Ancient times, this intricate hierarchy, ruling class hierarchy have, the ladders for people to climb. I'm not sure if that's a scheme too, like to make you see visually that which rank you're actually on, people wear different colored apparel. And some period, okay, the coloring of ranking shuffle over history. And the commoners in the ruled, not part of the ruling system, the ruled are forbidden to wear any of those elaborate colors. So purple is one of those colors as a marker of at some point as top rank. So there are maybe 9 different ranks. Okay, 9 ladders for you to climb on. The top 3 ladder rank is purple. So when you see people wearing in purple, most likely they are, they're protected, heavily bodyguarded. And then if you happen to see them, you are going to stop. You're going to swivel, kind of like, today's police will stop the traffic for some big shot passing by. Same thing when you see people wearing purple. It's top rank official. It's part of the ruling class. So you as a commoner, you're going to stop there. So the color of purple defined by this stopping fabric is the fabric color that's going to stop you in your track. Okay, Yan, we have fire symbol again, cone shape with sparkles on the side. And then on the right side, we have the concept of west. So the west is expressed by this bird nest, hanging on top of a tree. Everything is abstract, okay? And then we have the soil symbol, which just look like the bottom half of the life symbol. That's something made of soil, and then you're going to have the bird nest over there, plus the fire, because in ancient times, the common practice is after a whole day of farm work, people would return home, they're going to have smoke coming out of their house, right? But why bird nest? Because that's the symbol of time marker in the day. When the birds return to their nest, that's the dust at sunset time, birds return to their home. So that's a time marker plus the fire, and it's made of soil. Together, it makes the familiar life's routine back then. That this is cooking fire, that you're going to see the smoke from there. When you see the birds returning to the nest, that's the time we're going to see smoke. Okay, 日照香炉生紫烟. Okay, now we have 遥看瀑布挂前川. Okay, it's a little bit long. Let me try to cover. Okay, so this is the walking sign. We talked about stop just by the food symbol. Now we have 3 strokes, means walking. Now on the right, you have this meat symbol. This, okay, Chinese can get converged, meaning totally different things. And then they happen to look the same because all the Chinese characters are abstraction of the physical world. And at some point, we only have limited ways to abstract things. At some point, things are going to look alike, and you have to decide what exactly that symbol is. This could mean an animal, a beast head, or this could mean a piece of meat, or it could mean the moon. You decide. Okay, the right is a container with a cover. So fo is, you can view it as a clay jar. We see ton of clay jars in museums, right? Apparently, that's at the early stage of civilization. That's the easiest food utensils we made throughout all different cultures. So Chinese same, but it's not permanent and easily broken, right? And then we have the meat next to the jar. And then when it's plus the walking, somehow it make this far concept. Originally, I interpret it as if you have the meat in your food jar, that means life is good and you don't have to worry about food security. And you're going to walk in a certain way. You'll probably have more time, more leisure time to travel far. Otherwise, you're kind of, a farm field bound. You have to work day to night to have that sort of food security. Okay, that's my theory. Okay, han, see, we have a 5-finger hand symbol. And you can see 5-finger hand symbol reoccurring. We also have a 3-finger hand symbol. Okay, so now here is 5, means you're using your full hand. This is the eyeball symbol. We verticalize the eyeball. You can see the oval shape, and also these are the iris boundaries. Okay, just depicting how the eyeball looks. Now we have the hand next to the eyeball, means you're going to in ancient times, obviously, we don't have the sun-gazing glass. So this is how you look at the sun. You're going to, right, kind of hold this, kind of do this. And that becomes C. That means you try to shield the light away so that you can see things. That's the type of C. And eventually it becomes generic. Nobody cares about, blocking out the sun anymore. Okay, pu, we have water symbol on the left, and then we have the sun symbol again reoccurring. This looks like the top part of a living, right? Something growing over there. And then we have 2 3-finger hand symbol from left and right, meaning this is a first-person perspective. From the bottom of the screen, this is your hands, and you are reading like this. Okay, then we have the right symbol, which is across each quadrant have 1 grain of rice. That's a classification of rice, and eventually to mean rice itself. We are using hand to do something over the rice, and according to the limited knowledge about my farming practice, is when you're going to harvest your rice, you cannot put it in a container or in a barn field when it's dry, when it's wet, right? You have to sun dry it. And this sun, when the sun is kind of, growing upward, meaning when the sun rises really high, that's the time you're going to dry your rice. And probably there are practice of fast speed movement. So you kind of shuffle the rice, not only the sun exposure, but air exposure to help totally dry out the grains so before your storage, right? So that fast moving motion of this rice drying under the sun practice became the speed symbol. And then probably with force, a little bit momentum and fast pacing, all that paired with water means water flowing in such rapids. So basically, this whole thing means rapids. The right side is fabric. It's made of this drapey thing. That's the physical fabric look, right? And the top is our father symbol. The father is made of the right hand symbol holding a stick. Apparently, corporal punishment was a thing back then. So if you misbehave, your father is going to give you this yardstick. Okay, so that disciplinary role of a father plays then become the defining feature of what a father is. It's somebody who tell you no, who discipline, who will hit you when you misbehave. Okay, and the father of fabric becomes fabric, becomes a generic fabric. My theory of that is it's the disciplinary of the fabric, meaning the fabric after it's made from natural material, right? Made from yarn fabric, and then it's going to be decorated somehow, either change the color or decorated with embroidery, all that. So before anything happened, even to in textile science is it's called a great good. So my understanding is this is a great good. Before you treat the fabric with your own discipline, so to speak, you are going to have this great good. So that boom, rapids look like a fabric draping. That's Chinese imagery put together as waterfall. 挂, 5-finger hand symbol. Soil means high ground. And this high ground was said to be ancient times a type of only aristocrats, high class people who can afford to have this thing, which is ancient type of jade, ceremonial jade. And I'm guessing probably in that ceremony, this jade symbolized something, right? And they use 5 hands, means respectively. You cannot casually handle it with 3 hands, like your dad can hit you just with 3 fingers. But you have to handle this ceremonial jade thing, which high value, right? And probably symbolize something. So you cannot break it. Handle it with care with 5 fingers. And that care could involve hanging, like put it high, perch up high somewhere. Okay. 钱, okay. Food symbol by itself means stop. And then we have the boat. I view it as 2-seater kayak look thing. The boat stop means something is in front of the boat. So the boat has to come to a stop. That's logical. Okay. 川, 3 continuous sine wave is a Chinese vertically sine wave, Chinese way to express fast flowing, non-stopping river. Together, it means if you look from afar, okay, the rapids look like a big giant piece of fabric, type of waterfall. They are hanging in front of this big river. And I find, okay, Yosemite have this actually a firefall, not a waterfall, but this is a ceremonial thing, become a ritual. Every year at a certain time, they're going to do this. And this is purple looking because this is kind of nightfall time. So I'm imagining this could be imagery used to illustrate how 日照香炉生紫 smoke, right? 烟, and this you look from afar, 遥看瀑布 Okay, even if it's waterfall, it's a firefall, 挂前川. Well, supposedly there should be a river over there fast beating, and that's how a would have appeared to the poet who captured this moment. Could use all kinds of exaggerations over there. That's capturing our imagination in later generations. And of course, people try to identify what's the location, where exactly the poet see this song, right? But nobody can come up with the way he felt, how what he saw, right? So that's why this is a classical. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the second half of it. Thank you for your time. See you another day.